Hello. Welcome back to the Tea with Tina podcast. I'm sipping on water for those of you watching on YouTube because I'm on my third podcast episode recording, and this one is kind of interesting. So we are going to be talking about the power of visualization. Okay, I stumbled upon this article when I was researching. I will link the article in the show notes, but we're going to kind of walk through it. I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the power of visualization and what this can mean for your health and fitness goals and your life in general, because I think there is some truth to it. I can't tell you what it means though, because is it some woo-woo magic happening with the universe, or is it some sort of psychological sciencey thing happening, or maybe it's both? But we're going to explore it because I thought it was a really interesting topic. Okay, so let's dive in. So the power of visualization is your ability to create the outcome you don't see. Everything ever created or achieved first started as an idea in someone's mind. And this is so true, and it's crazy to think, like, everything that existed, like, how do they think of, like, letters and words and colors and food? Like me and my husband always joke about this. We're like, how did they make a cake? Like, if you ever look up, like, the origination of, like, sandwiches and things like that, they're always from, like, mistakes. Like, something happens, or they, like, last minute throw things together. They're like, this is pretty good, and then they, like, invent something, you know? So it's kind of cool how that works. And I can say, as far as the power of visualization, I do kind of teach this to my clients. A big tactic that I teach them is, you know, the night before you have your day, look at your schedule. And look through your schedule and kind of visualize yourself going through everything successfully. So, like, everything, you know, you're waking up, you're getting your shower, you're doing your makeup. Even me, like, I curled my hair today. I told myself yesterday that I was going to curl my hair. If I didn't, I probably wouldn't have done it. Like, I visualized myself curling my hair and having pretty curled hair because it's a little time consuming and I don't always want to do it. But I visualized myself doing it successfully, and then today it, like, went how I pictured it, right? Something as easy as that. You can visualize yourself prepping and eating healthy foods, going to the gym and getting a successful workout, going through your work day, like, everything working. That, I've noticed when I do it, my day is so much easier. I always think of it as, like, prepping myself for the day, because if I just go into the day blind, I don't know what it is. It just feels so chaotic and all over the place, and I'm just, I don't know. So that's why I always like to visualize. That's pretty much how I use it. You can use it on a grander scale as well. And again, anytime that I've ever really focused on this, I tend to be a lot more successful, especially, like, with my business, running my own business. I visualize myself, and it's scary at first because you don't necessarily have confidence in yourself. But if you give yourself the courage to really visualize yourself succeeding and open up your eyes to the big things, you know, of, like, working at home. Like, I didn't think that I could do this, but I'm here. I am, like, you know, I visualize myself doing it. I used to be terrified to be on camera and do anything like this, but I kept doing it, kept putting in the reps, visualizing myself being somebody who did it, and here I am. You know, it takes time. And I'm not saying that you just think it and it happens, but I think visualization is a big key in the confidence and manifesting it, right? So when you desire something, you focus your mental energy on it, and when you have a burning desire, this mental energy gets amplified by emotions and eventually manifests in your physical reality. So that's kind of an interesting way to put it, right? You have that mental energy, then it produces emotions in your body, and then you kind of manifest it physically because your inner body's telling you to do something. So with that being said, not every idea is created equally. To make visualization work for you, not against you in the case of negative thinking, so that's really important, is that, you know, you can also visualize negative things, which I think a lot of us do. If you're always thinking, woe is me, I will tell you, this is another kind of visualization thing I just thought of. I have been in the exact same situation, okay? Like, with a positive mindset and a negative mindset, even as simple as, like, driving down the road, it's amazing the difference of what you see. Like, when you're in a negative mindset, it's like everything's dull. You might see everything that goes wrong, but when you're in a positive mindset, you might notice, like, wow, the leaves are so beautiful, the sun is shining, everything is so beautiful, and it's like it was still beautiful before, you just didn't see it. It was like you had blinders on, right? And that's always happening around you. There's always beauty around you. There's always positive things, just like there's always negative, but you get to choose what you focus on. Kind of like, if we break it down to the simpler form of things, if you see like, I don't know, a Toyota Tacoma, like whatever truck or car, you see a friend's car, a Jeep Wrangler, you know, whatever. Once you kind of see your friend with that car, or you get a new car, it's like you all of a sudden see it everywhere, right? But it's because you're prepped and primed to see that vehicle. There's not necessarily more of them. It's the fact that you have it in your mind, so now you're seeing it more. Are you manifesting more Jeeps? Are you manifesting more trucks? No. Your brain is just primed to see it. So what you think is what you see, right? Kind of crazy. And then we're going to get into the law of attraction. So the key is to use your imagination and visualization for powerful results. What's the difference between imagination and visualization? According to V. Shen, founder of Mind Valley and trainer of the Silva Ultra Mind System, you can use imagination when you create something in your mind. When you receive the information through intuition, you use visualization. Imagination is directed outwardly, similar to using your mouth to speak words, while visualization is an inward process of perception, like using your ears to hear words. Interesting. So, why is visualization important? We live in a world of distractions. Yes, I talk about this all the time. Every medium is fighting for your attention, promising to grant fulfillment if you get this or that thing. And oh my God, with like TikTok and just social media in general, it's all these dopamine hits, quick things, quick dopamine hits. When the external world constantly bombards you, it's almost impossible to define your desires and aspirations coming from your unique soul. This is when the power of visualization can help you tap into your soul's desires and be in alignment with who you are. And this is exactly what I've been talking about. You need time to sit with yourself, discover yourself, be quiet. And it can be uncomfortable for a lot of people because they haven't necessarily sat with their thoughts, but it's necessary. It is so necessary. Okay, so let's look at some of the benefits of visualization. So you're going to get clarity on what you want. Before you start visualizing what you want, you need to know what it is. Often people are wishy-washy when it comes to their goals. Yes, you're always just like, I want to lose weight. Okay, but like, let's get specific. Why do you want to lose weight? Like, dig deeper, right? But visualization helps you clearly state what you want and move in the right direction. 2, increase motivation. Suppose you know what you want, but it's hard to fake it before you make it because humans need to see it before they believe it. Yeah, that's usually true. Visualization helps you visualize the outcome before it manifests itself in your physical reality. So it's kind of a way of like tricking your brain, which makes sense. Like even me just picturing myself curling my hair successfully, even though it didn't happen, I pictured it happen. So it almost tricked my brain into going, oh, you can do this. It's not so bad, right? So that's kind of interesting. 3, reduce stress. Visualization, also known as mental imagery, is a proven technique for stress reduction. So that explains why when I visualize my day the night before, I'm not super stressed out the next day. Become more confident. Visualizing the process of achieving your goal develops your confidence and determination as your brain perceives it as an actual experience. Okay, so kind of just what we talked about. And often, in other words, it helps you cultivate a sense of calm that you need to feel confident and capable. 5, enhance performance. In this 2021 study, researchers looked at the effect of visualization and self-efficacy on athletes' performance. They found they could obtain the highest performance with visualization of high self-efficacy exercises. It means that visualization can help you perform better at any task if you have a strong belief in yourself. Yes, this is so true. I can't tell you. Have you ever tried something and you felt unsure and it felt like your body was like purposely failing? I know I have. But then if you have that confidence and that hype and the excitement and you truly have a belief in yourself, you 9 times out of 10 perform a lot better, right? So just some thoughts there. Have some confidence in yourself. This is kind of cool though. Famous people who use the power of visualization, okay? Because there is a couple. Jim Carrey. So in his interview with Oprah, Jim Carrey jokingly said, I actually wrote about this in a blog post before. You can't just visualize and then go eat a sandwich. Back in the early 90s when he was broke and poor with no direction interested in him, or no director, he would visualize things coming to him while driving back home every day. He shares that at that time, it would make him feel better as visualization gave him the feeling that he already had everything he wanted. At some point, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services, dating it 3 years from then, and put it in his wallet. And after 3 years before Thanksgiving, he got it for his first role in Dumb and Dumber. Isn't that crazy? Like, you know, I don't think it was necessarily the universe, like maybe it was, but I think it was more so he was priming his body and telling them, like, you can do this. You're gonna go do this. So he acted accordingly because it was always in the forefront of his mind and he was taking it seriously and he had the confidence to visualize himself being successful. And again, this can apply to fitness goals, to nutrition. You know, you can do this. You don't have to be a buff bodybuilder, like you got this, right? Oprah is another one. Oprah Winfrey credits her success to the positive thinking she cultivated with the help of visualization. Yet, unlike Jim Carrey, she stresses that visualization works only if you work hard. I agree. On top of that, according to Oprah, when you visualize, you want to create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe. Kind of like shoot for the moon and land among the stars. If you're going to visualize something, why not make it big, right? You know, I challenge you to think about it. Like, do you feel like what emotions would you feel if you thought about something big? Like even me, sometimes I'm like, man, could I get my business to, you know, 6 figures, multiple 6 figures? Like that's a big vision for me. Can I get the house of my dreams? Like think about those things. And it's kind of scary to think about it, but also I believe that I can do it too. I think the more you think about it, the more confident you get in it as well. It becomes less scary because you're putting it out in the open. Then we have Will Smith. Before Will Smith knew he would become an A-list Hollywood superstar, he had been it in his own mind. In other words, he used the power of visualization to make his vision come true. He has always believed that greatness existed in all of us. Call it the law of attraction or the power of thought. Will Smith calls it the power of believing and visualization that helped him achieve success. So apparently there's types of visualization. There's outcome visualization. Is envisioning your desired outcome as an endpoint in the future, but as if it's already in your present. In other words, you create a detailed mental snapshot of the outcome using all 5 senses. Okay, so if your goal is to get that job, visualize yourself getting a job. See yourself either receiving a call or an email. What do you feel? What do you see or hear? Have you had this where you maybe think of like a smell? Or, I mean, I'm like a highly empathetic person, so I'm a sensitive person as well, so I feel like I get very sensitive to like scenery and moments in time. Like I know one of my favorite moments ever, it's not a specific moment, but a time is probably, it's so specific, but I always say like around, 8:30 at night, the night of Halloween. When it's Halloween night, it's kind of cool. Like I can visualize it perfectly. It's like 50s out, maybe 60s out, depending on the year. Sometimes we get snow. We're in Pennsylvania. But it's kind of cool out. The leaves are falling. They're almost off the trees because it's going to be November. There's a full moon out. It's dark. The the Halloween decorations are still out, but the streets are starting to get bare. Because the kids are all finishing up their trick-or-treating, so it's nice and quiet, and I'm walking through my housing plan, and you can kind of smell that fall in the air, but the coolness of winter coming in, and I'm starting to come home, my bag's filled with candy, and I walk through the door, and Halloween is playing on the TV, and I'm so excited to count my candy. Like that moment, I don't know why I can just visualize that, but I enjoy that moment and I can visualize it and it brings me joy just thinking about it, right? And I can get really detailed about it. I challenge you to even just start there. It doesn't even have to be about goals. Think about a time that you really enjoyed. Can you think about every detail, the smells, the sounds, the feels? I want you to think about it, okay? Then we have process visualization. In this type of visualization, you envision every step towards achieving your goal with all your senses engaged. Using the same example with getting your dream job, visualize yourself being invited for an interview, having a successful interview, feeling confident and worthy, passing the test, and then getting the job. I think this is probably what I use when I was saying that I walk through my day. I use process visualization, I think, more than anything. So this is kind of interesting. I was looking at the process of it, but let's just skip to the final tips. Like, you can read a little bit more, like I said, because I'm gonna link the article, but I just thought this was pretty interesting. But some final tips. So we have, 5 tips here. Be in love with what you want. So you won't get positive results if you're not excited about your desires. So truly, like, don't have half-ass thought. Like, really think about it. Think like, what is truly something that's gonna get you excited? Don't think about what other people want for you. Want what you want for you. And I've learned this because when I was, coming into the adult world in my early 20s, I really was doing a lot more of what people wanted me to do, liking certain music that people wanted me to like, doing activities. Like, I wouldn't play video games because I thought video games meant you were lazy and they're for kids. And I just leaned into what I liked. Like, one day I was just like, why don't I just do what I want? And I'm leaning more into my love of Halloween. Like, I just described that to you. I love watching horror. I love art. I love playing video games, but I also enjoy fitness and working hard. Like, it doesn't mean I'm lazy because I enjoy video games. I lean into that I'm a highly sensitive person. I lean into that I love animals, and maybe I don't want children. That I don't want children. I lean into a lot of things now, and I think because I visualize a life that I truly desire and I create that daily, it brings me so much more joy than trying to fit into a mold of what other people want, right? 2, visualize often for short, intense bursts. So if you can hold your image for as little as half a minute, you create a powerful attraction. Yes, so often revisit the thought of it. Like, even for me, as I build my business, I think about that feeling of, maybe where I want to get to in my next step of my business, and I think about it. I do, and it recharges my energy, and it reminds me of why I got to be there. So you can use that for your health and fitness goal. Maybe your visualization is when you're at the beach and you have your bikini on and you're looking good and you feel good, but you have a drink in your hand and you're laughing. When you feel like giving up, think of that. Think of that image. Think of that thought, right? Tip 3, make your image as detailed as possible, right? Like, I just explained that Halloween night to you, and it was pretty detailed, right? I could tell you even more. Like, if I could draw it, I could tell you the house, the lights. I could show you how everything looks, the shade of night, like everything. I want you to get really specific with your vision too. 4, don't believe, expect it. I think that's important too, because I think deep down, whether it's a universe energy thing or like an internal thing, if you don't believe it, it won't happen. And not to get, I don't want to say like preachy, but not to get like into the religion side of things, but I was this is funny, but I was watching The Nun 2, actually. It's a scary movie if you don't know what it is. But I thought it was interesting. This was a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about the good nun was saying that if you, half the part of Christianity is believing. If you don't believe, a lot of the beauty that you get won't happen. And I think that can relate to a lot of things. And I'm not even necessarily talking about religion, but I think religion is a big aspect of it. Like, there's so many things that if you don't believe in it and you don't bring that energy, that the experience isn't going to be there. Like, a lot of the experience is you simply believing it, right? Like, something that I can relate to is as a trainer with classes. Like, there have been times that I've gone through the motions, and you could probably relate this to an event in your life. Have you ever gone through the motions and like, it's good enough, but it's like, it's just there. But then maybe you have some times where you have that energy and you're really excited and you're really passionate about it, and you just notice something different. Like when I have those times when I go into my classes, which is what I try to bring every class, but you know, we're human, we're not perfect, we go through rough patches. So it's hard to bring that energy. But when I do have that energy, it's like the energy of the class is so much different. I get so much more feedback. People are having a great time. Like so much magic happens because my attitude changed, my energy changed, and other people picked up on that and they brought that energy too. So that's something important to think about too, I think. And then tip 5 is reinforce your images with affirmations. Affirmations help reprogram your thinking from negative to positive. Positive thinking will raise your vibration and keep you focused on your goal. I do believe that if there were science to come out that said like when we have positive thoughts, we're actually releasing like little positive vibes into the air, and then when we have negative thoughts, releasing like negative vibes and have a negative aura, I would truly believe that that's a thing. I don't know if it is or not, but it feels that way, right? Because when we're negative, we attract negative people. When we're positive, we attract positive people. And as someone who's a highly sensitive person and can really read people, honestly, upon like a glance with like body language or whatever, I do believe this. I really do. So I think what we say to ourselves and the words we say to ourselves are important, which is why affirmations can be powerful. I don't necessarily do this directly, but I think affirmation cards and sayings can be really helpful, especially for people who are not confident. Like if you're like, I'm not somebody who works out. Like if you're just saying like, I am thankful for the ability to work out today, or like I am strong and capable and can lift today. Like when you say it enough, it just becomes gospel. It becomes, you know, true in your mind. So keep saying it and say it, think it until you believe it. Okay. So, and then it gets a little woo-woo with like healing and stuff, you know, but I'm just saying, I think this is a great mental technique and it's true. I've seen it work and I have no idea the reasoning behind it, whether it is actually something in the air and vibes and energy, or if it's a mental thing. It works. So I encourage you to do it and to try it. And like I said, I'm going to link the article below if you want to read into it a little bit more. But I hope that helped. I just wanted to share because I thought that was a really cool little trick to do today. Something easy that everybody can do. Okay. But until next time, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I am manifesting a great week for you, visualizing that great, successful week, and we'll chat soon. Bye for now.